My first machine of the year was in 1984. Prior to that, in 1980, I began making bread by hand, and I did so for 4 years. During that time, I originally had in 1980, got an Oster kitchen center. Well, it had a 225 watt motor, and basically in about 6 months it had burned up just making quick breads, cookie batters, and that kind of thing. I then got a Sunbeam mixer, which also had a 225 watt motor, and basically it burned up as well because it couldn't handle just the quick breads and the cookie doughs and things like that. Well, then we proceeded to buy a KitchenAid. It has a 325 watt motor, and my mom had a KitchenAid. That's what I'd grown up with, so I was happy. I could make my cookies and my cakes, but I couldn't make my bread that I was doing at the time, making by hand in my KitchenAid. The dough hooks, which we'll talk about in a little bit when we cover the machine, had a hook in the KitchenAid, and it really couldn't work the gluten, which is, again, like I said, we'll talk a little bit later. Well, in 1984, my husband heard about the Bosch Universal, and he said, "Oh, Paula, you have to have one of these." And I said, "I don't want one. I don't need it. I've got a KitchenAid." But he heard about this machine, that it was an 800 watt motor, and that it could make 5 to 6 loaves at a time in 1 hour. Well, he proceeded to buy it for me anyway, and after one time of making bread, there was no turning back for me. It was a fabulous machine because now I could make my bread, I could make my cakes, cookies, but in my bread making, I could make 5, 6 loaves in 1 hour, and then my cleanup was simply the bowl, which I stuck in the dishwasher. There was no turning back for me, and that was in 1984. I call this my first machine of the year because my husband, when he bought the Bosch, heard about milling your own flour.